I'm in Mammoth Cave, not the big famous one in Kentucky. Slightly smaller one, but still pretty big. As you can see, the entrance is a bit tiny. I had to crawl to get in here, and which is unfortunate because I don't have knee pads, but I knew it opened up big, so I'm going to go ahead and not worry about that. So here's the plan. I'm going to walk right through this cave. And what's interesting, there's not much wildlife away from the entrance. At the entrance, there is quite a bit. For example, if I pan down here, you notice those little round things are rat droppings. You notice up there on the ledge, it's a pretty good rat nest. You also notice on the floor here, there are frogs, which is funny because I always thought frogs lived in like ponds or something, and there's no ponds around here. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna step over this guy. Gotta be careful not to step on him, of course. Okay, so I'm going to turn up my brightness of the light, 30%. That should be enough so you can see, but not overheat. Notice the floor is mostly soft sand, damp sand. Got some nice holes. This is where water has been dripping from the ceiling. So try not to trample those. But on the other hand, the walls, mostly smooth. Got a little bit of texture to them. And that white stuff, of course, would be animal droppings. See, there's a frog up there way on the wall. Kind of cool. Kind of seems weird, but whatever. There's also a frog here in a crack in the wall for no apparent reason. Those are real, I swear. I have no idea why they're there, other than they live here. But why they live here, I couldn't tell you. Couldn't find any place better, I suppose. But you can tell by how damp the ground is. You know, maybe there is a pond here in the winter. I mean, maybe they live in here because there is a lot more moisture in the winter. In fact, up here by the three-way intersection, there is a pond in this cave today. Notice the silver and gold-colored bacteria growing on the floor. Usually, well, no, wait. The white stuff, I think, is just mineral deposits. This green, I'm not sure. But anyway, that stuff usually grows on the walls. Yeah, look at the alternating colors. Dark red, light red, dark red. Very pretty in here. All right, I'm going to keep going left to go through clockwise. There's a part on one end of the tube where it gets lower and lower. I'm not going to do any crawling. I'm going to keep walking. We'll miss part of the cave. Oh well. If you don't like it, you come here and do it yourself. Better yet, I'll come back later and do it myself. Next time, hopefully remember my knee pads. Another thing too, look at this. Where there's cracks in the wall, plant roots coming through. So we're not that far underground. And no, I'm not worried about the ceiling collapsing. There's not much graffiti in here, but there's red arrows pointing the way out. It's funny, there's actually only one intersection in this cave, but there are a couple pillars. So if somebody's new to caving, they might get confused by the pillars. Go around in circles. Kind of make a good blonde joke, actually. But yeah, as long as you have good lighting and pay attention, it shouldn't be. But you got to realize in the olden days, before white LEDs and rechargeable batteries, lights in caves weren't as good as they are now. So it was a little easier to get confused because you couldn't see as much. Yeah, these white LEDs and rechargeable batteries, wow. It's pretty much revolutionized caving. So I can go caving all day. It basically doesn't cost me any money. Just recharge the batteries, do it again tomorrow. And I got all the light I need to see for myself and my camera. We're sharing. This gimbal seems to be better behaved than my horizontal one. My horizontal one, for some reason, doesn't want to stay level. Can't figure out why. This one seems to be a lot better. Notice how it kind of looks like the ceiling is coming down, but I think the floor must be sloped too. I'm still standing up and I got like a foot of headroom. Look at the colors over here. Ooh, notice the little formations on the ceiling and the stuff coming through, plant roots. Man, I'm hungry. I had a good breakfast, but I had a really small lunch. I was in a hurry, so yeah. I should have got a bigger lunch, but I didn't want to waste too much time eating. Oh, well. I went on a big road today I've never been on before. Wasn't sure if I was going to get lost or anything. The good news is I did everything on the first try, even though I didn't have cell phone service. Yeah, it worked out extremely well. I'm a little behind schedule, but that's mostly because I slept in, not because of anything else I did wrong. Okay, so here's the three-way intersection. Notice somebody made a pile of rocks pointing out. Notice there's a red arrow pointing out. So as long as you got good flashlights, pay attention, you can't really get lost. So here's that pond I was telling you about. No sign of frogs this far into the cave though. So this is a really pretty cave. Look at that, more arrows pointing out. I was just saying how there's not much graffiti in here. But at least the graffiti in here is useful graffiti, like arrows pointing out instead of Kilroy was here or something. Okay. I'm gonna turn up the brightness just a bit for now. There. So look at this. Super beautiful over there. Super beautiful over there. But so my light doesn't overheat, I'm gonna turn it back down to 30. You'll just have to imagine that you're seeing the cave. What I need to do is go caving with more people, because then I benefit from their light too. But since their lights aren't as bright as mine, I end up shooting a higher ISO. Comes out kind of looking bad. I was going through a cave at lava beds. Lots and lots of people. So I had my light down to 1%. And they were still telling me, man, your light's so bright. So I asked them, you want to see 100%? And they're like, yeah. So I turned it up to 100%. And they're like, wow, I'm going to catch fire in here. Yeah. I still don't remember what that Schnauze means. Schnauze means. Not sure if that's somebody's name or location or what. Just some weird phrase. But look at the floor here. How lots and lots of those circles I was telling you about, impact craters from water dripping from above. I'm trying not to trample them, but I have to step somewhere and they're everywhere. But the floor here is basically mud. It's a really fine sand. Good news, it's not slippery right now. I bet if I came when it was wetter. I think the first time I came here, it was in the winter and it was really wet. But I had boots that time. I'm just wearing shoes right now. Wow. Nice ceiling. I know somebody wants to come here, but he doesn't cave as often as I do. So I had to go caving without him. Wow, look at that ceiling. The cracks, tiny formations, all the little water droplets, the colors. Man, awesome. All right. Okay. Fascinating. Notice the ceiling's getting lower. Still barely standing up though. Maybe crouching down just a little bit to make sure I don't hit my beautiful head on the ceiling. It's a nice head. Came with the neck. Got a package deal. All right, here we go. It's amazing how the ceiling is so bright, yet the floor is so dark. That's because the ceiling isn't covered with dirt. The floor, well, sand. It's really nice sand. Honestly, I'm tempted to try to go walking barefoot in here. Just my luck, I'd step on I don't know. It's too cold for rattlesnakes. Could be spiders. I haven't seen any spiders. This far in, if there's no insects, I would expect spiders. You know what I mean? I'm crouching down now, but it opens up again ahead. So I just did my horizontal video, so some of it's fresh in my memory. The cave curves to the right a bit. Boy, I'm hungry. So I keep saying mud, even though it's sand, but look over here, the different colors. See, in the middle, that darker color, the browner color, that is mud. And then the outside, that is sand. So it's kind of telling half the truth. There is sand and mud in here, but most of it is just mud. I was sort of exaggerating. But like I said, it's not slippery at all where I'm walking. And I'm just wearing shoes. I'm not wearing boots at all because I know it's going to be an easy cave. If I came in the winter when it's wet, then I'd want to use better traction devices. So look, this is another interesting. The water came down and it made impact craters so deep. You can see the bigger gravel below the sand, which is a darker color. So it gives you an idea how deep the sand is. Look at this ceiling. See that hairy stuff? It's plant roots coming in from above. So it should give your first clue that we're not super far underground. Even though this is called Mammoth Cave, it's not the same as the one in Kentucky or whatever. These days, anytime somebody finds a really big cave, they want to call it Mammoth Cave. Which is funny because compared to like a Brachiosaurus or a Brontosaurus, you know, mammoths weren't even that big. We should call it Brachiosaurus Cave. Well, somebody already named it. I'm not sure what that white stuff is on the ceiling. It looks like something growing. It's not litter. I mean, something white is growing up there. But I'm not going to touch it. It's probably a fungus. It's probably harmless, but I don't want to cause any damage. Try to cave gently. We're practical. Zero trace is impossible. Just by being in here, I'm using up oxygen, giving up carbon dioxide, giving off body heat, etc. So zero trace isn't ideal. Okay, see, this is where if you want to keep going, it's really muddy. It looks like it opens up again, but without knee pads, I really don't care. So this is as far as I'm going to go. Here's another pillar, so I could go left or right, but either way, I got to crouch down. So I think I'll just wait until I come back with other people. It'll be fun. I'll be like, okay, you want to go caving in the winter? Since this cave is super easy to get to, as long as there's not too much snow. Pretty high elevation here, so you know. Luckily, I have a four-wheel drive, so as long as it's not more than 6 inches deep, I should be okay to get out here. Here's a pile of dirt where the ceiling came down. So here's another spot where the water exposed to lower level. But anyway, I'll go up on this pile of dirt briefly, just so you can look around. Not that there's anything to see. But again, the floor, you can see how there's the bigger gravel under the thinner gravel. And the ceiling, you can see nice big plant roots. With knee pads, I could easily walk through here, go down pretty much any way. But I'm just going to walk back the way I came. So I'm very lazy. Very, very lazy. That's what he said. Here we go. Plus I'm hungry, so I'm tired. I should have had a bigger lunch, but oh well. Notice over here how the rock kind of peeled away. A layer almost peeled away, but it didn't make a lot of progress. Still stuck there. That's common in lava tubes. Wow. This is more rare. Have seen so many plant roots throughout the cave. I've seen a few caves like this, but majority of them, they're just too far underground and they don't have the right type of cracks. But even with all these cracks, there's no natural light coming in. You can't see light coming through. So it's not like a little skylight or anything. See, this is the hill I was on. I could have climbed down there, but more like crawled down there. I really don't care. End up in the same spot. If I come back with more people, ooh, here's another pond or puddle. If I come back with more people and I'll remember my knee pads, we'll be more ambitious. A lot of good stuff around here. Let's see, what is today? Today's a Thursday, so that's one reason I'm here by myself. The people work regular work weeks are at work today. I don't work Thursdays, so I can do stuff like this by myself with all my friends. All right, there we go. Yeah, we have the technology to take pictures of caves, make a 3D model. For good results, you need a really good picture, though. Like you have to use a tripod or a flash, not just handheld like I'm doing. But it's actually really simple. You just take a whole ton of pictures, run it through a computer program, and it makes a 3D model for you. If I lived around here, I'd probably do this cave. It's such a simple cave, but it's so colorful and pretty. It'd probably take me a few days, though. If I buy a wider angle lens, like a 12 millimeter lens or something, so I can, lots of stuff in the pictures. But it's kind of tedious, though. So you take a picture, move, take another picture, move, take another picture. It's not good exercise because you're not walking around like this, you're standing there. So I don't really enjoy it as much as doing this. Since I'm here for fun, I haven't really been doing that. I think next time I go to Malheur Cave, though, might do that because it's like this one, just one big tube. Doesn't really branch out. Such a really cool cave. It's even smoother than this. Super smooth. Okay. Man, oh, I didn't even notice these before. Look at this. On the wall here, between the ledges, there's columns, complete columns. Little tiny lava columns. They're like a 1/4 inch diameter or 1 inch long. A few more over here, 1/4 inch in diameter. See, that's another thing. Instead of modeling the whole cave, you could take a whole bunch of pictures of this area, try to make a 3D model. But the thing is, without being able to get the camera behind those columns, it wouldn't really look right. That's the thing, it's like, when it comes to visual effects, people look for any little flaw. If they find any little flaw, they'll just reject it as garbage. So, yeah, you have to do a good job or it's not really worth the effort. Even here, this video, holding it by hand, I'm shaking up and down a little bit. It's another spot where the ceiling is just so many different colors and patterns. Wow. Wow. Again, look at the shape of the floor here, where there's obviously been water flow and so on. I wonder how it looked when people first discovered it. I bet it looked like sandcastles and it's been trampled a bit. A lot of caves with sand, like Lava River Cave near Bend. It looked really cool before people discovered them. Okay, so there's the way out, but I still got to finish this way. So here I go. Wow, look at the ceiling here. Not just the stalactites, but look at the round shapes. I'm not sure what those are called. Blobs, globules. Here's something interesting. Some plant roots up here, but they're not brown like the others. They're more like white. Different plant, I suppose. Interesting. Okay, the camera battery's almost dead. I'm gonna keep shooting until it dies, and then I'll switch batteries. Good news is I got tons of batteries. Notice there's a pillar here. I could go right, but I'm trying to go left to go clockwise. So, here we go. Notice the floor is a little higher here. I think that's because it's breakdown. Lower over here, there isn't breakdown. I could be wrong. It really might have flowed that way. Obviously, when it's actually flowing, it would have been way too hot for people or equipment to be inside here. So, we won't really know for sure. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and swap batteries now because I got a little rock I can use as a table. See, this will be my little workspace. So this will keep my life simpler. So I'm gonna pause the video right here. Start again in a second.